Our economic system is underpinned by the services of nature and the stability and resilience it provides. But flaws in the finance system have helped tarnish our natural world.
The impact of climate change and nature loss becomes increasingly difficult to predict into the future and even more complex to ensure.
What's the point of receiving a pension when our children cannot even play outside?
Revolutions happen when the majority of people think that it's a mistake to try and block change.
In the terminology, it would be a climate Minsky moment. And that's what we need to avoid, which is why we need to start moving today.
Do we invest money in the practices that take us deeper into this crisis, or in the solutions that could get us out of it?
Our finance sector has unwittingly bankrolled the destruction of the very natural systems it relies upon.
Since the Paris Accord was signed in 2015, banks globally have continued to invest $1.9 trillion into the fossil fuel industry, and that's despite knowing where that's leading and what the consequences are.
The financial system is not doing a great job of distinguishing between good and bad growth.
Putting ourselves on a trajectory to devastate the natural world and our way of life forever. But our future doesn't have to be this way. Our finance system needs systemic change.
The financial sector is an enormously powerful and effective force and can be a force for good.
No sector is better placed to drive the transition to a sustainable economy than the finance sector itself.
The public needs you to take the lead and needs you to be brave.
We need to build a finance system which is recalibrated to the long term. One that is transparent, so all investors can see what their money is funding. And one that takes climate, nature, and social development into account in all financial decisions.
The finance sector plays a crucial role in the fight against climate change, but it cannot do it alone. We need a coordinated response across many sectors: government, energy, technology, the legislative and regulatory environment, bringing all these together to make a meaningful impact.
The thing that gives me hope is that people are rethinking how capitalism should be structured at the top table. It's huge. And if they're successful, then we will live in a much more sustainable future. If they do not succeed, then the economies will collapse and civilization itself is at risk.
As we navigate our way through the biggest economic crisis since the Second World War, the existential threats from climate change and nature loss are still looming. Now is the moment to reframe our idea of value and build a new system. One that will safeguard ourselves from future global shocks. If we do this, we'll be leaving a legacy of which we can feel justly proud.
That clip is an excerpt from the longer film Our Planet, Too Big to Fail, a film which has been called a fire alarm for the sector. It shows exactly why financial institutions, whether pension funds, insurers, banks, sovereign wealth funds or others, need to make ambitious commitments. In the words of the UN Secretary General, we are in a race against time. What we do next is crucial. That's why we created the Race to Zero. And I'm pleased to say we've seen unprecedented commitments from cities, regions, businesses, investors and universities for a healthy, resilient, zero carbon recovery. Now we need financial institutions to step up and play their part. So far from the finance community, 33 asset owners representing more than $5 trillion of assets under management have come together to set new net zero targets through the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance. And asset managers are now also preparing to join the race to zero. It's a good start, but if we're to win this race, we need many more of you to join. To help in this process, we're delighted to be working with FCCM, a partnership that brings together United Nations Environment Finance Initiative, WWF, and the Principles of Responsible Investment, and other groups to help the finance sector understand what's required. This partnership, which is active in many countries around the world, stands ready to help financial institutions, to help you raise your ambition, to guide and signpost you to the gold standards for the sector. As the high-level climate action champion for COP26, I encourage you all to reach out to work with us in this crucial year, to join us and to join the race to zero.